Hello, everyone. I'm Patrick Kelly, Director of Corporate Services and Treasurer with the Township of Wilmot, and I personally want to thank you for taking time out to view this pre-budget consultation webinar. Township of Wilmot staff and council are appreciative of our community for engaging within this important process. The 2023 municipal budget will be challenging as we collectively continue to recover from the pandemic within a challenging economic environment, highlighted by record high inflation rates and some new debt obligations for the township specifically. Having said that, staff are confident that with your help, we'll be able to achieve a balanced budget for 2023 that meets the desired levels of service for our cohesive, vibrant, and welcoming countryside community. As you're aware, Wilmot is a mixed urban and rural municipality made up of vast agricultural lands within various small settlement areas. We continue to see growth in our communities with a forecasted population of over 28,000 by the year 2031, making Wilmot amongst the fastest growing municipalities across the province of Ontario. Our average household income remains on the higher end when comparing to other municipalities throughout the province, at $128,000 versus a provincial average of $109,000. Property taxes as a percentage of household income sit on the lower end at 3% compared to a provincial average of 3.8%, while user fees for water and wastewater are below most of the province, representing 0.9% of average household income. This places Wilmot within the mid-range of municipalities throughout Ontario with regard to the total municipal property tax burden as a percentage of household income. Township Council and staff continue to be guided by our overarching corporate strategic plan, which aims to create a cohesive, vibrant, and welcoming countryside community. With a new council set to take office later in 2022, the township will look to update our strategic plan and reinforce community values that will set direction for staff throughout the new term of council. Our corporate priorities are well established, and throughout this municipal budget, we strive to provide quality of life for our citizens while building and maintaining a prosperous economy and protecting our natural environment. The pre-budget consultation process is best aligned with our corporate goals of an engaged community and responsible governance. We continue to solicit and leverage public input into our budget and financial plans as we work together to navigate through the 2023 fiscal year. In terms of quality of life, we're committed to accessibility and inclusivity and have reinforced this commitment through our recent progress within the realm of equity, inclusion, diversity, and belonging. Staff also actively participate on intermunicipal committees such as the Reconciliation Action Plan Partnership, which strives to help us navigate the path towards truth and reconciliation across the region of Waterloo. Emergency management was a significant component of 2022 with the continuation of the pandemic and will likely continue to require additional resources throughout 2023. In addition, continued investments have been made towards speed signs and other road safety measures as we continue to focus on overall community health and well-being. Wilmot continues to invest in recreation amenities with Council's recent endorsement of a third ice pad location and improvements to community tennis courts and playgrounds across the municipality. In 2022, we continue to grow our trails network and linkages between our communities. The recently announced investments in the Nith River Promenade and expansion to GRT Route 77 are two prime examples of our continued focus on active transportation and transit opportunities for the future of Wilmot Township. We continue to listen to our citizens through our increased communication channels and improved social media and web presence. We strive to foster a greater sense of belonging through the previously mentioned works on equity, inclusion, diversity, belonging, and Indigenous reconciliation. In addition, 2022 saw increased exposure for our new brand and logo, which capture the essence of Wilmot Township. We continue to provide support for community events that have been significantly impacted in recent years, and we're excited to witness the return of successful community events in 2022. Be sure to check out the New Hamburg Fall Fair this weekend. As always, we appreciate the savings generated for our tax base through our extensive volunteer network. I personally want to thank all of you who continue to volunteer and support our corporation and community for all you do to make our community such a welcoming space for everyone. We continue to work with our seniors and youth community to ensure everyone has opportunities for engagement. As noted earlier in the presentation, Wilmot has a prosperous economy, and we continue to work as staff and council to build and grow that economy. As we start to recover and move forward, works continue to progress with various stakeholders in the province regarding our very important Wilmot employment lands along Highway 78. In addition, staff maintain contact and communication with various business development groups and boards of trade to ensure we're supporting one another as we navigate this challenging economic landscape. Through the efforts of our planning division and support from council, we continue to achieve our targets for smart growth through protecting the countryside line, promoting infill and intensification, and achieving balance between residential and commercial industrial growth. The township works to promote sustainability and protect our overall natural environment. In addition to the infill and intensification and protection of the countryside line, Wilmot is also committed to supporting the development of the Mike Scout Wetlands Preserve. This major project will improve our natural environment and act as a carbon sequestration area while sustaining native species and wildlife. Wilmot Council has also committed to the 80 by 50 target and will work alongside area municipalities to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 80% by the year 2050. This aggressive target will require resource investments to reduce our GHG output from both municipal facilities and municipally owned fleet. The reforestation work continued this year and has been supported through our partnership with Let's Tree Wilmot. We look forward to improving the overall tree canopy throughout the township. Through Wilmot's Sustainability Working Group, staff, council, and members of the public are strengthening our focus and commitment to carbon reductions. And as per latest reports presented this past Monday, we are well on our way to achieving and exceeding our 25% reduction target. With regard to responsible governance, Wilmot has invested in our corporate communications with dedicated staffing resources and an ongoing corporate communications strategy project. In the future, we hope to pivot to a fully accessible and hybrid council and committee structure. We continue to be fiscally responsible to ratepayers and are currently focused on an effective debt management and reserve fund strategy as we enter a period of significant growth. Wilmot continues our active participation on shared service agreements, as well as cooperative purchasing contracts to achieve volume discounts. Infrastructure investments have not slowed down due to the pandemic as we continue to rebuild our core infrastructure, most notably seen in the Snyder's Road underground improvements, Church and Wilmot Street reconstruction, and the reconstruction and replacement of the Bridge Street Bridge. Finally, we continue to follow our corporate asset management strategy, and recently council endorsed an update to Wilmot's asset management plan. Staff will continue to build our overall asset management program and are currently working to finalize our IT master plan. These service reviews and master planning processes help to shape our long-term financial plan. As you can see from the previous slides, staff and council continue to put your funding to work by making strategic investments and continuing with exceptional service delivery that Wilmot has become accustomed to. A few financial slides are here to show how dollars are distributed in our operating and capital programs. The township's annual operating and capital program are funded from a variety of resources and inputs. Approximately 30 cents of every dollar spent is sourced from your municipal property taxes. User fees are the next largest portion of funding, with the majority coming from water and sanitary fees. These fees are legislated to maintain a clean and sustainable water and sanitary sewer system. Approximately 18%, or $6.2 million in 2022, was sourced from senior government funding sources, which indicates that Wilmot was funded 82% from our own source revenues. Staff continue to advocate for federal and provincial funding supports as we navigate the challenging economic future. Continued infrastructure investments and endorsement of our long-term asset management plan are critical to ensuring long-term sustainability within our funding strategy. Total operations in 2022 were budgeted at just over $18 million, including over $6 million within the water and sanitary sewer system. Our 2022 capital program totaled $14 million, while the budgeted transfer to infrastructure reserve funds was approximately $1.5 million, with the vast majority of that allocated to water and sanitary infrastructure reserves. From a percentage perspective, 50% of funding is allocated towards overall maintenance and operations of township infrastructure and programs. 41% is allocated to the township's capital program, with the remaining 4% transferred to infrastructure reserve funds. From a functional area perspective, operating expenses are spread across our core service areas as shown here. $12.9 million, or nearly 70% of overall operations, are dedicated towards infrastructure and facility needs. The largest proportion is for environmental services or Wilmot's water and sanitary program. Fire services account for another $1.5 million of municipal operations, with the remainder of funding spread across general government services, development services, and cultural programs. With a better understanding of where we are in 2022 and the lens of our corporate strategic plan, staff are currently looking at a number of additional budget pressures for 2023. The current economic environment and record high inflation rates are having significant and lasting impacts on 2023 with regard to user fees, operating and maintenance costs, and throughout our local economy. We continue to witness a growing infrastructure deficit as our owned infrastructure is aging faster than our current financial resources can maintain. As our population grows, with families moving to our attractive countryside community, Wilmot is experiencing pressures to support this growth through growth-related capital investments prior to the building and subsequent increase in assessment from this new development. This growth-related capital challenge has created an environment where debt financing is now required and will be rolled into the annual budgeting process. Coupled with these internal pressures is also another expected decrease in funding support from the provincial government through the Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund. Staff want to ensure that the public is well aware of these competing factors as you bring forward your input for our 2023 budget. So how can you get involved? Well, if you've stuck around this far, you're already doing a lot to support this process. Please follow our links or visit wilmot.ca/budget to complete and submit our pre-budget consultation survey. The Ad Hoc Budget Advisory Committee will be meeting at the dates noted on this slide, and these meetings are always open to the public. Follow our website and social media to find out how you can get more involved. As you prepare to submit your input, we have 5 items to consider for our 2023 municipal budget. The online survey will help guide residents and businesses to provide these inputs. So we're asking, what is the top priority for Wilmot in 2023? What service area or service areas are most important and impactful to you, your family, and your business? What service area would benefit the most from additional resource allocations? What are your expectations from a tax policy and service level perspective, knowing that continuation and or expansion of service expectations will require additional levy funds? And finally, what are your thoughts on our special levy for infrastructure assets, which was recently identified through our asset management plan as critical to sustaining our owned infrastructure? With that, I'd like to thank you so much for listening to this presentation and participating in our 2023 budget process. You can submit your input and reach us through the methods that are noted on this slide, and we encourage you to complete our online survey via the link and description below this YouTube video. Stay safe, everyone, and thank you for your continued support and engagement in Budget 2023. Thank you.